Hey guys, it's Sonia. So for my next Black History Trailblazers, I guess you can call it, that I want to kind of spotlight is a couple of people in no particular order. But as I sat and really thought about who I wanted to speak on, these were the ones that came to mind because to me they were very integral in the natural hair movement. Um, I'm going to start kind of backwards with this with Cicely Tyson, who through the years and throughout her career, she changed the game with her hairstyles. And she really wasn't trying to. She was not trying to be a natural hair pioneer, but that's exactly what she became to Black women when she boldly rocked her natural hair. Particularly in 1967, if I'm not mistaken, for a movie role, she cut off all her hair and rocked a tiny afro, a TWA, as we now call it today. And that inspired so many Black women back then to do the same. They cut off their hair, got rid of their wigs, and they sported their natural hair like Cicely Tyson did. But Cicely said she only did it for the movie role because she was that dedicated to bringing authenticity to her movie roles. So for that particular character, she felt she needed to cut off all her hair and rock a short natural. And this inspired so many Black women at that time to do the same. And in an interview, I believe she did an interview with Oprah in 2014, she even said that she got phone calls, countless phone calls, hundreds, um, from hairdressers all over the world who were complaining to her. They were mad because they said they were losing money. They were losing clients because they, cut off their hair and didn't need their services anymore because they went natural. And then there were other occasions where Cicely rocked cornrows, or very intricate braided hairstyles with beads and designs. And she wore them proudly and boldly, even though most of the time they were for movie roles. She was a trendsetter, and she was not afraid of rocking her natural hair in however way she felt she needed to or wanted to. And I think that was huge in showing Black women that they could do the same. You don't have to rock those Supremes, beehive, slick down, shiny wigs. You don't have to keep slapping lie relaxers in your hair to have straight hair. You can rock your natural hair and still be beautiful. So to me, Cicely Tyson, she was definitely a trailblazer when it comes to natural hair. The next people I want to highlight or point out is actually kind of by decades, the 60s themselves. The natural hair movement really started in 1960 because we went from the civil rights movement to the Black Power movement, which transitioned into the 70s. And in the 60s, we had the Black Panthers. And you had people like Kathleen Cleaver and Angela Davis who, proudly wore their afros. And wearing your afros as a whole was, one of the trademarks or mainstays of the Black Panthers, because they wanted to show that they were proud of their African roots, that they were against trying to live up to European standards of beauty, of straightening your hair, of having light skin and light eyes, like that's the only standard of beauty, that our own kinky hair growing out of our scalps the way it does and rocking an afro was beautiful too. So from the 60s, you had that, and you transition into the 70s, and you have black exploitation films. You had Pam Grier, and while the Black Power movement started to kind of wane, and with the arrest of Angela Davis, you know, she became a target, and other people who were in, different movements, whether it's the Panthers or just the Black Power movement or whatever, they also became targets simply because of their afros. The afro became very politicized by the FBI, by the media. Angela Davis was on the cover of Life magazine, with her fro taking up the whole cover. And it was, it was very politicized. Like, if you wear afro, then you're a radical. And so the FBI and the police during those times began to target anybody. Whether if you were light skinned, dark skinned, if you were a woman walking down the street rocking an afro, you were getting harassed by the police. You were getting pulled over, you were getting stopped. And it became so bad that women stopped wearing their afros and started wearing wigs, so they wouldn't be harassed. So by the 80s, the natural hair movement kind of just waned. It kind of went away. And because, people were tired of being targeted. They were tired of being harassed because of their hair. And the 80s led the way to, relaxers again and jerry curls. And, that took off. And then we had the 90s and the early 2000s when the natural hair movement started to make its way. Again, you had the likes of Lauryn Hill, who rocked her afro and later locks. You had Erykah Badu, and other women who just, were rocking their natural hair and just being proud. And while I appreciate the natural hair movement coming back, I feel like it also became extremely commercialized by companies who saw this as an opportunity to make money off of Black women. And they used biracial women with 3A, 3B textured hair, looser, curl patterns to market their products to Black women who mostly have 4C hair or type 4 hair, promising that their hair would curl up like, these biracial women with 3A, 3B type hair. And I think that caused a lot of division, and it created a lot of resentment that we still have to deal with, as a community when it comes to hair. And it did the the natural hair movement a huge disservice, in my opinion, because all it did was teach or promote that your natural hair is not beautiful as is. Like, you can't just rock a afro. It needs to be a curly fro. It needs to be a defined afro. You need to start doing curl outs and braid outs and twist outs so your hair can have some type of curl definition in order to be beautiful. And this is the lie that so many Black women have come to believe. This is why we have so many product junkies, because they keep thinking that this gel or butter or cream or pudding or mousse is gonna curl up their hair like this biracial woman on the product, on the box or whatever the product, or in the commercial, and it's just gonna suddenly curl up and it's gonna be bouncy and it's gonna flow and it's gonna hang. And it never happens. And this is why we keep trying product after product after product, spending so much money and being disappointed instead of just, accepting our hair. And I'm not saying it's wrong to do a twist out or a braid out or to want some kind of definition or curl to your hair. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't think that's the only way that your hair looks pretty. Like, don't think that's the only way for your hair to look acceptable. Like, if wearing an afro is just ugly and you shouldn't do that. Like, your natural hair needs to be styled constantly in a way that it doesn't ordinarily, look. We're constantly manipulating our hair, and that's the problem. And there's so many Black women who have not accepted their hair for what it is, for what it can and cannot do. So I think the natural hair movement, while I'm a huge supporter of it, and I'm a supporter of the basic goal of it, which is to embrace your natural hair, embrace your natural beauty, and don't be ashamed of it. I think there's beauty in learning your hair and what it can and cannot do. There's beauty in accepting your hair for what it is, whatever hair type it is. Nappy is not ugly. Nappy is not a term that should be offensive. Kinky coily hair is beautiful hair. We have so many different hair types that, why would we even believe that it's ugly? Why would anybody say, my natural hair is just too rough, it's too ugly, I can't do anything with it, it's hard? Sure, it's hard until you get to know it and you learn how to deal with it. You have to get to know your hair, and that's the problem. So many of us have gotten relaxers for so many years, most of our lives, that we don't even know what our natural hair looks like. We don't know what our natural hair feels like. We don't know how to take care of it because it's been chemically relaxed for so many years. And so that's why so many feel that they feel scared. They're afraid. They don't want to deal with it. They want to keep doing what's easy for them, which is slap a relaxer in it and call it the day. Put a wig on, lace front, extensions, whatever it is they do. They would rather do that than see their natural hair. And I think if more women were educated and could see that, with proper maintenance and just time and patience, you will see that your natural hair is actually beautiful. It's not hard to take care of. You just have to get to know it. So, I'm thankful for the Trailblazers that came before us. Those who showed us the way, who were just fearless in rocking their natural hair. I wish more women would do that, and I wish more women would do so without feeling the need to have a certain look and to not feel like, my hair has to look like this person's hair, or it has to have all these curls in order for it to be pretty. That's not true. It's not true. So that's my little Black History moment. My shout out to the Trailblazer, Miss Cicely Tyson, Kathleen Cleaver, Angela Davis, and so many more who saw the beauty. And I like, the overall essence and the reasons behind, their reasons for rocking their natural, and I wish we would get back to that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Thank you to all my subscribers. Hello, hello, hello. And I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.